Good morning. Welcome to today's class. Dear children, we are going to resume the same poem, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. And today we will be dealing with the last stanza, stanza number 4. So, unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window, and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break open, till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open, history theirs whose language is the sun. Now taking up the meanings one by one. Governor refers to the rulers of the state and the lawmakers in the state. Inspector refers to educationists and teachers. Visitor means the visits by different dignitaries and VIPs from time to time in any school. On such visits, all teaching aids are utilized by the teachers, and there is real teaching and learning going on in the classroom. It seems their lives will become enlightened by the light of education these children are receiving during such hours. But once these visits are over, the school falls back into the same old dull routine, and classes are not conducted regularly. It looks as if the light of education turns out of the lives of these children, and their lives become as dark as catacombs. Now you must be wondering, what are catacombs? Catacombs are underground burial chambers, subterranean galleries which are used as tombs to bury the coffins of the dead people, and these coffins are placed in recesses, one on top of the other, on the two sides of an aisle. So it seems as a tunnel, and on the two sides of this tunnel, there are coffins laid one upon the other. As it is, the place of burial is frightening for most of the people in the world, and these catacombs had only one gate, which acted as an entry and as an exit. Whenever a new coffin was brought in, the gates used to open, light used to enter into these burial chambers, and once the work was over, these gates were closed back and there was darkness again inside these tunnels. So it is a very apt comparison that the poet has taken here, that the lives of these children are shut once the visits are over, and there is no light of education entering into their lives, and their lives become as dark as catacombs again. Break, oh break. Now what does the poet mean by break? He makes a loud call, a clarion call to the privileged classes of the society as well as these slum dwellers. The call that he makes to the privileged classes is that the fundamental rights of these people should also be given to them. They should also be treated equally, and there should be no distinction and discrimination on the basis of class or creed in the society. The call that he makes to these people is that they should break the shackles of slavery and bondage that are imposed upon them, and they should come out and start demanding for their rights in very loud voices. So much so that it seems to be a revolt against the present setup. And once this revolt is successful, these people will be liberated from their dark phases of life and will enjoy life like the other classes. What we see nowadays is that the society is divided into the haves and the have-nots. That is the privileged versus the unprivileged, or we can say the underprivileged classes, the wealthy people and the poor people. Once these two activities take place, the children will get the freedom to roam about into distant places in the world. They will be able to enjoy the beauty of Mother Nature, and it would seem as if the whole world has become theirs. They are free to go anywhere they like. And once this happens, they will be getting an opportunity to run on gold sands, run azure. Azure is the blue color of the sky. So, blue always refers to optimism. There will be hope in the lives of these people, and they will also get an opportunity to enjoy the scenic beauty of the beaches on the seas where the sand appears to be gold. The sand which appears to be wet by the waves of the sea, on which when sunlight is reflected, it becomes a beautiful golden color. And let their tongues run naked into books. Letting their tongues running naked into books means providing them opportunities for free and compulsory education as well as higher education. The white and green leaves. White leaves refers to the pages of the book, and green leaves refers to the greenery in the lap of Mother Nature. So both these leaves, both these pages will be open for these children, and they will be fortunate enough not only to get good education in their lives, they will also get the freedom to visit different places according to their whims and fancies. That is, the poet wants to say that they should be given the right to expression, which is a fundamental right for all the people. And of course, their freedom cannot be snatched away from them because they are human beings and have every right to do whatever they like or go wherever they like. History theirs whose language is the sun. The sun stands for the force that removes the darkness of night. Hence, this is an implicit reference to the revolutionary Marxist attitude that Spender wants to be created in the minds of the oppressed children so that they can write their own language and own history against the history and language forged by the capitalists. So when this happens, there will be a revolution like so many revolutions you have read about in your smaller classes. And this new revolution will again be recorded as a part of history. And the result of this revolution will be that the names of these courageous people, yes, courageous, because they have had the courage to stand up against the oppression that is being meted out to them in the present times. Their names will be noted in the history, and a new history will be created where there is no distinction between human beings on the basis of class or creed or race or nationality. Now coming to paraphrasing one by one. So in the final stanza, Spender comes full circle. He replaces cynicism with hope, a plea for a new manifesto for the children. He reveals the appalling truth that until and unless governors, that is, the rulers and the lawmakers, inspectors, that is, the educationists, and visitors are the dignitaries and VIPs, until and unless these people take the onus upon themselves to liberate these slum children from their present horrendous and gory lives, until and unless they ensure that actual teaching and learning is a reality in these slum schools and is not just an exhibition during VIP visits, there can be no change for the better. So the use of Shakespeare's bust and the world map, which you have already read in stanza 2 and stanza 3, for actual teaching and learning should not be restricted to the occasional visits of VIPs. Otherwise, the windows will shut back upon the slum dwellers after these visits, closing all new avenues to be explored, and life will again become as gory and gruesome as the interiors of catacombs. The catacombs are mostly used as a plural number. He makes a clarion call to the privileged society to grant these people their due rights. He begs for a change that will break open the windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs and free the children from the constraints of their present position in society. And you understand, their present position in society is of the underprivileged people. Spender asks that the children be shown directly and not through donations to green fields and gold sands. He petitions governors, inspectors, visitors to transform the sour temptation of the donations into a reality, to impart their duties as sensible and responsible citizens. Whoever or whatever puts obstacles in their way to complete freedom must be overcome, and they should be given the privilege and the atmosphere to merge with the mainstream of society. At the same time, he exhorts the slum dwellers also to revolt against their present lot and break the shackles of slavery that bind and confine them to a life of deprivation. He urges them to resound the whole world with their loud demands for equal rights and opportunities, so that the world maps do not remain mere windows for them, they become a reality for them. Spender writes, break open till they break the town, offering hope that education will break open the minds of the children, because education is the only tool through which the minds of these children can be enlightened. He believes that once their minds are free, they are empowered with learning, they will have the power to change the social hierarchy, and the society will no more remain within the narrow confines of class, caste, creed, race, or nationality. Spender thus asks for a pragmatic alteration in the practical application of donations. He believes that if these children are truly allowed free exploration, naked tongues, running freely through books and environment, then their education and their language will become sun, burning away the fog that has sealed their fates and doomed them to an elementary school classroom in a slum. He ends stating that they make history. Those people make history who are inspired by the strength of noble features of the sun. Sun, as I already told you, dispels the darkness not only physically but also from the lives of the other people, whose ideas and language can inspire and motivate the gatherings in order to be effective. Their language must have the power, the warmth and potency of the sun. They who have the courage to challenge the existing order and create a new history. Thus, he says that history should be rewritten. It's time that history should be written in a new form. The whole world should be one and should not be divided into countries, nationalities, as we have read. There should be no class distinction. People should not be differentiated on the basis of their religions or on the color of their skins. And should not be broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls. Very famous lines quoted by Rabindranath Tagore, written by Rabindranath Tagore in his poem, Freedom. So the world should not be broken into smaller segments or smaller sections. These narrow domestic walls, it again refers to the distinction and discrimination between the people on the basis of classes, on the basis of their caste, on the basis of their creed, on the basis of their races or nationality. Then there will be only one class, a class of true humanity and equality, devoid of any social distinctions on the basis of class, caste, creed, race, or nationality. So the poet, he ends the poem on a very optimistic note that a time will definitely come when this kind of society will be a reality and people will be treated equally, not in one part or another part of the world, but all over the world. The whole world will become a family, a fraternity, and people will be empathizing with each other. They will have sympathy. They will treat each other with kindness, and true feelings, human feelings, social feelings will overflow every heart. Now the poetic devices in use. The first, you see another device, anaphora, where there is a repetition of a word into consecutive expressions. So the example here are run azure, run naked. Of course, simile is there, alliteration is there. You're already familiar with these two words. Enjambment, you have already read in the previous slides, and metaphor, you know. So you can pick up these examples and try to explain them in your own words. And this is one of the assignments for you. I will be giving you other assignments on your WhatsApp groups and in your Google Classroom groups. So please go through the poem. Any difficulty, you can call me back and you can remove all your difficulties while doing your assignments. Thank you and have a good day.